Coming up on this episode of NPS Now, communities came together to celebrate the dedication of 2 new schools. Millen High School students competed in the Big Feet Meet. And the DayMat Community Outreach and Technology Lab had a grand opening. Plus, we'll discuss the district's efforts to eliminate bullying in our schools. All that and more next on NPS Now. Hello and welcome to NPS Now, your source for news and information about Norfolk Public Schools. I'm your host, Karen Tanner. Dedication ceremonies were recently held for the brand new Richard Bolling Elementary and the Southside STEM Academy at Camp Estella. Here's the story.
Within the course of a couple of days, Norfolk held dedication ceremonies for its 2 newest schools. Both schools followed a similar program, but each dedication had its own unique atmosphere. The ceremony at Richard Bolling Elementary had a familiar feel to it, as many former principals and teachers from the old school returned to celebrate the new school's dedication. Dignitaries and representatives from the school system and city joined students and community members at the main entrance of the school for this great occasion. During the ceremony, several short speeches were given, many of which mentioned the historical importance of Richard Bolling, the school, and the man. After the speeches, the keys to the building were handed over, and there was a ribbon cutting formally declaring the opening of the brand new school.
Well, obviously, I'm excited. The whole school system is excited. The whole community is really enthusiastic about this school being dedicated today. Now that we have this great facility for our teachers to teach and our principals to lead and our students to learn, we can really get down to the business of academics.
It's amazing. I mean, it's actually heartwarming. Words can't describe how I feel. I just feel good for the community, especially for the students, because this has been a lot of work that we've put in place. And I'm saying we because I was a part of this. So I'm just, really excited to take part in this celebration.
At the conclusion of the ceremony, tours were held to showcase this state-of-the-art school. Guests, and especially those former principals and teachers, were very interested and impressed with the new building.
It feels great. It brings back, makes me feel a little nostalgic. And this is a humongous and a good place for teaching and learning. I see so many teacher-oriented and student-orientated enhancements that we did not have when I taught years ago at the old Bolling Park School, where I taught for 17 years.
I feel, number one, excited, honored and privileged to come here, and I think our boys and girls have always deserved such a beautiful building. And more than that, I have seen so many other parents who have been overjoyed about a new building in their community. Many of them have gone to school in the old building, and now they have children in the new building.
Beautiful. So far, I'm trying to cover the entire building. I hope I get to see everything, and so that I can get back to my building too. But I don't want to leave until I put my eye on the whole. I believe 101,000 square feet is it? Yeah. I want to see every inch of that, and then I can be satisfied.
It's amazing. It's well lit. Spacious, a lot of common areas, a lot of open space, and a lot of places for collaboration. So it's a great locality, a great location for our kids, our scholars right here in the community, the Broad Creek community.
While there's no question that this school is outstanding for the community, the entire reason for its existence is to ensure our students have the best learning environment possible.
I hope they get a great education. I hope that they can see this building as a safe place, as a place where they can explore, where they can reach their fullest potential. The science labs, the library, the media center, the pre-K exploration garden. I mean, everything, the possibilities are enormous.
What the facility, the new Richard Bolling Elementary School, will provide for all of the scholars here is an opportunity to have the best possible learning experience of a lifetime. To be here for the dedication of Richard Bolling is a dream come true. This is something that the community, the city has waited for a long time.
The very next day, another long-awaited dedication ceremony took place in the small gym at the Southside STEM Academy at Compostela. This dedication had a strong community feel to it, because after 3 years of attending a school away from their neighborhood, the children of Compostela came home to this outstanding facility. Many of the speakers throughout the ceremony talked about how beautiful the new 181,000 square foot building is, but they also noted that the real benefit of the school isn't the structure. It's the STEM programs and other educational opportunities within the school that will make the biggest difference in children's lives.
One of the first charges was making sure that we had the strongest and the best quality educational program inside these walls as possible. We know bricks and mortar won't educate children, but it sends a clear message as to what the community feels about its children, how it values its children, and then what its commitment is to making sure that our tomorrow is much better than our today.
Following the speeches and the presentation of the keys, everyone gathered outside the front of the building for the ribbon cutting. Whether they were seeing it for the first time, or even if they had worked on it for years, it seemed that everyone was in awe of the new school and what it means for students.
It's actually amazing. I remember when I was in school, and I didn't go to school in any building that looked like this, and my buildings were allegedly new too, but it's really great to see the level of technology that's in the buildings, the state-of-the-art facility. Mr. Ballard and his team did a great job along with everybody else that was involved, so it's really a good feeling to see what we're able to give to our children.
We started working on this job 3 or 4 years ago. And I worked with the principal and the staff and the students to come up with a plan to rebuild their school. I kind of feel like it's my baby, that, we've taken it from the idea of a K-8 school, a STEM school, and really taking it to fruition. So it's exciting to see it, and it's a special gem for Norfolk Public Schools.
Just like the dedication at Richard Bolling, those attending this ceremony knew what they wanted students to understand while learning daily in this modern building.
There's opportunity with learning the STEM curriculum to do wonderful things in the workforce. And so you have science, technology, engineering, and math. And the idea that they could go from here to a high school, and then from a high school either straight into the workforce or to a 2-year or 4-year, well prepared, frankly better prepared than I was, frankly, as a child. And for them, their opportunities are boundless.
It gives them a sense of hope and newness so that they can start anew. And that's what we're looking for at Compostela. As you know, we have some little barriers, but with this, they're going to work even harder. And parents are going to want to be here. And the community leaders and new partners will come.
Well, I hope when they look at the building, they see their own value. The fact that the city would build such a school for them says to them they're worth it, they're valuable, and that their education is important. And I hope that really kind of transposes into successful educational careers here.
Berkeley Compostela Early Childhood Center celebrated a grand opening of their own when they invited parents to the unveiling of the new DayMac Community Outreach and Technology Lab. Following a brief ceremony that featured several speakers, parents and community partners got to see the lab firsthand. The goal is to have parents volunteer at the school and then utilize this new lab to discover what their children are learning daily with this innovative technology.
Having this lab open is going to be great for the community. I think having a place to come to and not having to hop on the bus to go to the library or go somewhere else, just walking distance, I think it'll probably get them more involved instead of it being more of a hindrance to go anywhere else.
It's a wonderful feeling, a wonderful opportunity to have this great lab for our parents in our community, the DayMac Community Lab. Today we're celebrating with NRHA, with WHRO, with our community members, and showing them the first steps that it takes to get our parents out to make effort of learning what the children are learning in the classrooms. We want to make sure that we close this digital divide, not only with our boys and girls, but with our community as well. It's a joint effort.
The United States Fleet Forces Band, 4-Star Edition, celebrated the Navy's 241st birthday by putting on a special concert for students at Maury High School. The students sang along with the band and danced to some old school classics, along with the current popular hits. Earlier in the day, members of the Navy spent some time giving back to the community by volunteering at several of our schools. Over at Ingleside Elementary, they visited classrooms and interacted with students throughout the morning.
On this special day, the Navy's birthday, means a lot to us to be able to interact with the children and interact with the community and let them know that we're also a part of it as well.
I mean, it's exciting to be around kids because I'm always around grown adults doing grown things, so it's nice to have a change up. But it's definitely important that they see the military in a different realm. You know, they live close by, they see these ships, they might hear about them, but they get a little more personal with us when we're here.
A beautiful fall day was the backdrop for the second annual Big Feet Meet at Booker T. Washington High School's football stadium. This event, which is a partnership between Norfolk Public Schools and the Special Olympics, enables middle and high school students with special needs to compete in a variety of athletic activities. Plenty of enthusiastic volunteers from local universities and high schools were on hand to ensure that these students had fun while showing off their athletic talents.
Oh, this is great. I think these kids are having a blast. You know, it's good for them to get out, get some physical activity going on, you know. Definitely some team participation kind of sports thing. This is great for him. It's good for his social skills, something he hasn't done. He's in a class where there's a limited amount of kids in it, 9, 10 kids in the class. So being out here with a couple hundred other kids really helps him interact more.
It shows that everyone has value and worth. I mean, when we have kids in general ed setting giving back to the community with kids with disabilities, it's really important for our students to see that they're warm, they're welcome, they're valued, they're respected, and that they're part of our community here in Norfolk. And when we change the culture and get everyone included, we're promoting a healthy environment.
My PE teacher asked if I wanted to be a buddy of a special ed kid for the day, so I'm here with about 10 other students, and we're just being a buddy of a kid for the day and going around all the obstacles with them. I really like it. I didn't know something like this existed, and I'm actually very surprised and happy about it.
Hoping to make walking to school a little safer and a lot more fun, St. Helena Elementary participated in the Safe Routes to Schools walking school bus. Parents, teachers, and the principal gathered at the Berkeley Shopping Center before school, and together they walked with their students to the building to begin their school day.
Well, we're just walking with the community, trying to get the parents involved, trying to get healthy kids, trying to just get everybody involved to walk to school. We just want the community to come together and just have the kids just walk together as one. We are one team.
Scholars at Ruffner Academy celebrated Hispanic Heritage Month in October with a special presentation from the Mambo Room. Representatives from the Mambo Room performed various Latin dances that mix different cultures and music. They even taught the dances to some of the students.
Learning about culture is severely important because we have our own culture here in Norfolk. Culture extends just far greater than just our city. It extends to our states, to our countries, to our ancestors, to our families that we have today. So what I really was hoping they would get today, and I know they received it, definitely the tie-up at the end with the Afro-Cuban lesson, was seeing that dance is not just a Latin dance coming from Puerto Rico or Cuba or Dominican Republic, but those countries have influence from Africa, they have influence from Spain. We all influence each other, and that's what culture is all about.
If you have any great story ideas or events happening at your school, please be sure to contact us at nps_news@npsk12.com. Coming up next, we'll talk about National Bullying Prevention Month. Stay tuned. Welcome back to NPS Now. With us today is Carol Hamlin. She's a senior coordinator for student conduct and discipline. Welcome to NPS Now.
Good morning.
And I know this month, October, is Anti-Bullying Month. So tell me a little bit about this.
Well, actually, this started years ago, like in 2006, as a week activity. It was started with the PACER organization, and it was a group of parents that provide information for other parents. It has grown since that time to become a month, about in 2010. So with that, across the nation, all schools recognize that bullying is a problem and is a community issue. So this is a time to raise awareness and educate.
So what is Norfolk Public Schools doing to promote anti-bullying?
Well, we start with our Standards of Student Conduct Handbook, and then there we define bullying. We also follow the Code of Virginia in terms of identifying what those behaviors are, and usually it's a repeated and ongoing type of behavior that's designed to intimidate, create fear, or that is perceived or could be perceived. We let the students know about bullying right at the beginning of the school year. When we put out our Standards of Student Conduct, we hold assemblies to talk about what that looks like. We have posters all over the schools that talk about bullying, how to report it, who to report it to. We have the bullying hotline where students can call and give us information. It could be the child being bullied, it could be their parents, someone in the neighborhood, or just another student. And that number is 628-1171.
So the students are really the first line of defense
They're
for anti-bullying.
absolutely the first line of defense because they see it. But it, like I said, it is a community issue, so it's something that all of us need to be aware of. We provide a lot of information for our administrators and bus drivers. We'll be giving more information to bus drivers, food service staff, everyone, so that all of us are on the same page in terms of making sure that we can see it and identify it. We tell the kids, you see something, say something.
Right. I've heard that catchphrase, see something, say something,
see
even
something,
for
say
adults.
something, report it. Whether it's going to school, coming home from school, on the bus, in the cafeteria, wherever you see it. One of the things that we really want to do is to provide an environment that's a trusting environment where kids will feel comfortable letting us know. I know that there are times when the whole word snitch comes into play, but we try to instill in kids that that word is basically designed to keep you quiet.
Right.
Okay.
So with that, let's go a little deeper about the see something, say something. What do you specifically want students to do, and what's that process like when they report it?
Well, there are a couple of things that they can do prior even to reporting it. If you see something, don't be a part of it. Even you're standing there watching the situation, laughing, encouraging in any way, helps the bully to keep going. Okay, but if you say it, let them know it's not cool. If you can't, we don't want kids to put themselves in danger either. But they can tell a trusted adult, tell their parents about it, tell the building administrator, any teacher, any adult. And that's why we want to make sure that everybody's sensitive to it, to include other people in the building, our custodial staff, our food service staff, everyone, bus drivers, everyone needs to be aware of bullying and what it looks like.
Is there a particular form? Say I come to you and say, I think someone's being bullied, I witnessed this. Is there a form or a process they have to go through to report it?
They can always come as a witness, but also we do have a form in the Standards of Student Conduct that can be filled out and submitted. We also, like I said, have the bullying hotline, and that rings in our office in Student Support Services.
Okay.
It also shows up on my cell phone and my iPad. So as soon as that call comes in, either I or the staff at my office respond to it, and then we contact the school. And when we have anonymous tips, of course, we have to work with the school to find out, who exactly is involved. One of the things that I think is really surprising that a lot of times the calls that we get are not necessarily the student who was bullied, but someone that saw it, and they just want help.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what should parents do if they suspect or feel that their child is being bullied?
One of the things, they have to advocate for their children, so of course letting the school administration know immediately. The other thing is to talk to your children about bullying, even if they're not being bullied. Talk to them about what it looks like. Encourage them not to be a part of it. We need to encourage our students to be kind to each other. In Norfolk, we use PBIS, and we talk about being responsible, respectful, and safe. But there's also that element of kindness and empathy and caring for others. And, you know, to encourage your child to just think about how the victim feels. And if you see a situation, you may not be able to do anything right then, but you certainly can get to another adult and tell them about it.
How do we prepare our staff members and administrators to handle bullying?
Well, we have training, ongoing training for our staff members, for our administrators especially. There's also an administrator's guide that supports our student conduct book, and it gives them additional ways. But in our ZenWorks, under the student support services folder, there's a file that's all about anti-bullying. It gives you all kind of resources, the posters, activities, and that type of thing. So it's ongoing, and I'm constantly uploading more information. In fact, there's some other things I just recently found that will be uploaded today.
And bullying can be defined in different ways, and there's also what's called cyberbullying.
Absolutely.
How do we handle that here in our district?
Well, first of all, cyberbullying, many times students do that in the evening. You know, so the schools have always been kind of careful in terms of, you know, how we get involved. But the General Assembly says that if it impacts the school, if it comes over where it's creating an environment at school that is intimidating or fearful, then it is up to our staff to investigate that. There are many things that are associated with bullying that also can be a crime.
So some folks' Facebook posts or Instagram or Twitter posts can be considered cyberbullying if it's something
if
negative.
there's something that's going to be a threat or create a hostile environment for a student, then absolutely we need to look into it. Sometimes it's not always the school staff that has to move forward, as it might be the police. So we work together on situations like that. Now there are things, because of course we've also been, you know, cautioned not to get into things that could be considered part of a religious or political or, you know, things like that, because of course, you know, you have rights. But if it has a negative impact on the school, where students that are involved are not safe or feel that they're not safe or feel threatened at school, then certainly we're going to look into it.
Well, let's talk about how we can actually prevent bullying in our schools.
One of the things that it goes back to relationship building. We have to have those strong relationships. The community has to work with us, the parents have to work with us, so it's all of our issue. So it's a constant conversation. And bullying is not something that, you know, is just new. I think that one of the things that's happened is that because we have social media, and now, you know, we see a lot more because with social media, it makes it easier to do and say things that you wouldn't necessarily say to someone's face. Okay, so preventing it means talking to your parents, parents talking to children. When they come home in the evenings, you need to find out how their day was, you know, what went on, and if there were any concerns. Talking to the people in the school, as I said, it's about that trust, relationship building, and when the kids work with us and trust us, they have a tendency to tell us what's going on.
Right. So let's one more time give the parents and the viewers that phone number for the hotline that they can reach out to.
The hotline number is 628-1171, and we also have Safe Schools email address, and that's safeschools@npsk12.com. And so we also check that as well.
Well, we want to encourage our viewers, our parents, and our students to call or email to let us know if they are or if anyone else is being bullied. So thank you for coming on and enlightening us about Anti-Bullying Prevention Month.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. And we want to thank you for watching NPS Now. It airs weekly on WNPS, Channel 47, or you can view us online at www.npsk12.com. If you have any great story ideas or information you'd like to share, email us at nps_news@npsk12.com. Again, we'd like to thank you for watching NPS Now.